So now to summarize our chapter 12 or the WLAN concepts and the S.R.W.E bridging course. So first first is we have the benefits of uh first off we will be introducing the wireless. The wireless LAN is a type of wireless network that is commonly used in home offices and campus environments. Now we have the benefits of the wireless local area network. So the main benefit of it is that it provides mobility of network access. It provides network access to your device even though you're not connected to any port using a wire or a copper wire, fiber cable like that. So there are four types of wireless networks: the WPAN, WLAN, WMAN, the W1. WPAN is a wireless personal area network ranging from the range is from 20 to 30 feet or 6 to 9 meters. The most common types of it is the Bluetooth and Zigbee based device. Now we have the WLAN. This is most commonly found at a medium-sized network like a home, office, or a campus environment. It's usually up to 300 feet. Now we have and the WLAN has 2.4 GHz and 5 GHz band. Now we have the wireless MAN, the WMAN, which uses transmitters to provide wireless service over a larger geographic area. Now the W1 is wider, far more wider than the WMAN. It covers an extensive geographic area, for example, a region or a country. Now, there are different types of wireless technologies. In the wireless technologies, we have Bluetooth, the WiMAX, the cellular broadband, and satellite broadband. The Bluetooth has two types of Bluetooth radios: the Bluetooth Low Energy that supports multiple network technologies, and the Bluetooth Basic Rate Enhanced Rate, and this supports point-to-point topologies. Then we have 802.11 standards. We have 802.11, 8.802.11, 11A, 11B, 11G, 11N, and 11AC, and 11AX. Now there are two radio frequencies found in the wireless bands: the 2.4 GHz band and the 5 GHz band. They are usually transmitted through radio waves, infrared, ultraviolet, X-rays, gamma ray. Now there are three wireless standard organizations supporting the Wi-Fi Alliance or the WLAN. First is the ITU, then the IEEE, then the Wi-Fi Alliance. Okay, so now let us continue to the WLAN components. So we all know that computers or devices need NICs to gain network access. So for wireless devices, we have wireless NICs. They are radio receivers that attune to same radio frequencies with end devices and with wireless NICs. A network device such as a wireless router or wireless AP. Now we have the wireless home router. This is commonly found at home with your DSL or fiber connection. But the wireless router serves as an access point, switch, and router. A single modem can now be a router. Because before we're having a DSL connection, DSL modem, and we have to buy a separate router to connect to the Wi-Fi. Now it can serve as an access point, a router, and a switch. So what are wireless access points? Wireless access points are just like Wi-Fi range extender. The difference is range extender is easier to set up and configure, but the best solution would be to install another wireless access point. This is because to not interfere the signal it is better to have an access point. Though they provide the same function, but the access point has more security than the range extender. Now we have AP categories. So there are two APs can be categorized as an autonomous AP and controller-based AP. An autonomous AP is a standalone device configured using a command line interface or an GUI. It is useful in situations where only a couple of APs are required in the organization. The best example of it is a home router. Now we have the controller-based APs. They require no initial configuration and are often called lightweight APs, and controller-based APs are useful in situations where many APs are required in the network. Okay, so now we have wireless antennas. So we have three wireless antennas: the omnidirectional antennas, directional antennas, and the MIMO antennas. The omnidirectional, such as the antenna that provides a 360-degree coverage and ideal in houses, open office areas, conference room, and outside areas and halls. Okay, so now we have the directional antennas. So what do we have in directional antennas? What is the difference between the directional? It focuses the radio signal in a given direction only. This enhances the signal to and from the AP in the direction the antenna is pointing at. Okay, this provides a better and stronger signal than the omnidirectional, because omnidirectional gives in so many directions that the network can spread out. The directional has only one destination or one direction. The MIMO antennas are antennas that uses multiple antennas. Up to 8 transmit and receive antennas can be used to increase throughput. Okay, so now we have the WLAN operation. Okay, so what do we have in the WLAN operation? So first we have the 802.11 wireless topology modes. um, Wireless LANs can accommodate various network topologies. The 802.11 has this topology mode. Ad hoc mode, infrastructure mode, and tethering mode. Okay, so what is the ad hoc mode? When we talk about ad hoc mode, this is when two devices connect wirelessly in a peer-to-peer manner without using APs or wireless routers. For example, it's a device to device, laptop to laptop, cell phone to cell phone, switch to switch, like that. Now we have the infrastructure mode. This is when wireless clients interconnect via a wireless router or AP. So you can ping a switch through a PC. For example, PC1, you can ping PC2 that is connected to the same network, even though you also have a wireless LAN. Now we have the tethering. It is a variation of the ad hoc topology. Is when a smartphone or a tablet with cellular data access is enabled to create a personal hotspot. For example, I have a phone, but I have no access to the Wi-Fi or internet, but I have a cell phone with me that provides 4G, LTE, 4G or 5G signal, then and have internet. Then I can connect my laptop to the personal hotspot of my device, my cell phone, with WEP or WP password also. Now we have the BSS and ESS. The BSS, or the basic service set, consists of a single AP interconnecting all associated wireless clients. Uh, Now we have also the ESS extended service set. When we talk about this when a single BSS provides insufficient coverage. Two or more BSS can be joined through a common distribution system into an ESS. The 802.11 wireless frame structure is as follows. We have the frame control, duration, address 1, address 2, address 3, sequence control, address for payload, and FCS. Frame control identifies the type of wireless frame, duration, indicate the remaining duration need to receive the next frame. Address 1 contains MAC addresses of the receiving wireless device. Address 2, MAC address of transmitting wireless device. Address 3, MAC address of destination, such as the routing interface. Sequence control, this contains information to control sequencing and fragmented frames. The address 4 is missing because it is only used in ad hoc mode. The payload contains the data for transmission. The FCS is used for layer 2 error control. We have the CSMA-CA, and now we have the CSMA-CA, or the collision avoidance. It is to determine how and when to send data on the network. A wireless client listens to the channel to see if it's idle, sends a ready to send message to the AP to request dedicated access to the network, receives a query to send message. If it doesn't receive the CTS message, it wastes a random amount of time before restarting the process. When it receives the CTS, it transmits the data. All transmissions are acknowledged. Now we have the wireless client and AP association. For wireless devices to communicate over a network, they must first be associated with an AP or wireless router. Yeah, so basic to understand. How can you connect wirelessly if you connect through a cable, right? So we need a wireless device, right? Basically, you connect a wire to the wireless router to give you wireless signal. So easy to understand. Even a kinder can understand it. Now we have SSID. The SSID name is the one that appears or that is displayed when looking for in the list of available wireless networks on a client. On our laptop, just click on the arrow up button or the settings button, then search for the available Wi-Fi networks. You can see the SSID names in there, but you can also hide SSID. We will talk about that later. Now we have the password. This is required from the wireless client to authenticate to the AP. Wrong password means no access. Right password, good. Now we have the network mode. This refers to the 802.11 A2, the AD, WLAN standards. We have the security mode. This is the security parameter settings such as the WEP, WPA, or WPA2. It enables password. It is the highest security level supported. We have the channel settings. This refers to the frequency bands used to transmit wireless data. Okay, so now we understand it. I don't mind this. I just got bitten by a dog, so I am getting sick right now because of that bite. I don't know. Just don't mind me. Just focus on this summary. We have the passive and active discover mode. So when we talk about passive mode, the AP openly advertises its service by periodically sending broadcast beacons frames containing the SSID. Basically, it shows the SSID. In the active mode, the wireless clients must know the name of the SSID to enable to search it or to connect to it. Okay, so now we will talk about the CAPWAP operation. Okay, so what is the CAPWAP? The CAPWAP means control and provisioning of wireless access points, or CAPWAP. The CAPWAP is an IEEE standard protocol that enables a WLC to manage multiple APs and WLANs. This is responsible for the encapsulation and for the routing of WLAN client traffic between an AP and a WLC. Now we have the DTLS encryption. The DTLS first is a protocol that provides security between the AP and the WLC. It It is enabled by default to secure the kappa of control, but disabled by default for the data channel. Kappa of data encryption is optional and is enabled where AP data encryption requires a DTLS license to be installed on the WC prior to being enabled on an AP. Now we have the Flex Connect APs. There are two modes of this operation: the connected mode and the standalone mode. The connected mode, it is the WC is reachable. The CapWAP has connectivity with its WLC. In the standalone, it is unreachable. The Flex Connect has lost or failed to establish CapWAP connectivity. Now let's talk about channel management. Okay, in the channel management, you have the frequency channel saturation. We have the DSSS, FHSS, OFDM. DSSS stands for Direct Sequence Spectrum, a modulation technique designed to spread the signal over a larger frequency band. FHSS, or the Frequency Hopping Spread Spectrum, relies on spread spectrums methods to communicate. OFDM, or Orthogonal Frequency Division Multiplexing, is a subset of frequency division multiplexing in which a single channel uses multiple subchannels to communicate. Now, to select channels, channel selection, the best practice for the double lens requiring multiple APs is to use non-overlapping channels. If you use overlapping channels, there might be interference with your connection, might be slower, or maybe no connection at all if they overlap with each other. So, the 2.4 GHz to 2.5 GHz spectrum are divided. Now, the 2.4 GHz band is subdivided to multiple channels. Each channel is allotted 22 MHz bandwidth. The 5 GHz multiple 5 GHz APs are adjacent to each other. Now, to properly plan for double LAN deployment, if APs are used to existing wiring or if there are no locations or APs cannot be placed. Note these locations on a map. Create a map of the area you will be putting double LAN and just use existing wiring if they're already wires. Note all potential sources of interference. Do not place your routers, APs, modems, switches on near a device or beside a device next to a device that can interfere a signal, just like microwaves, which uses radio frequencies, TV, and refrigerators. Okay, positions APs above obstructions. Position APs vertically near the ceiling in the center of each coverage area if possible. Positioning APs vertically near the ceiling can avoid interference or can avoid the distractions in an area. Now there are some WLAN threats that we need to be aware of. We have interception of data, which I discussed earlier, and we have wireless intruders, those hackers or unauthorized users that are accessing the WLAN. We have the DOS, or the denial of service attacks, which can affect the network. Now they have the rogue APs, unauthorized APs installed by a well-intentioned user for malicious purposes. Now, what is more susceptible to DOS attacks is resulting by improperly configured devices, malicious user intentionally interfering with the virus communication, and accidental interference. Now we have the man-in-the-middle attack. The man-in-the-middle attack is called the evil twin AP attack because it is positioned in between two legitimate entities in order to read or modify the data that passes between the two parties. It's just waiting for It's just waiting for a opportunity to attack the network. Now, to secure the balance, we have the called SSID cloaking. The SSID cloaking, uh, the SSID beacon frame is disabled. MAC address filtering, it just the administrator or the admin can manually permit or deny clients. There are a list of the in the router. There can be list of possible or allowed MAC addresses only to access the network. We have the shared key authentication methods, the WEP, WPA, WPA2, WPA3. So what they do, basically, all of them, in conclusion, all of them are in the password area. So just put in your security code. To authenticate a home user, we need there is a personal and enterprise. Personal authentication is intended for home or small office networks. Enterprise intended for enterprise networks. Encryption methods can be TKIP and AES or temporary key integral protocol and advanced encryption standard. TKIP is the method used by the WPA. The AES is the encryption method by WPA2. It is more preferred method because it is far stronger method of encryption. Now, the authentication in the enterprise. At the reduce server IP address, this is the reachable address of the reduce server. The UDP port numbers, officially assigned UDP ports. The shared keys used to authenticate the AP with the reduce server. Now we have the WPA3. The WPA3 is not readily available. However, the WPA2 is no longer considered more secure. WPA3, if available, is so much recommended. The WPA2 personal threat actors can listen in the handshake between a wireless client and the AP and use a brute force attack to try and guess the PSK. In the WPA3, it cannot happen easily. So that is the summary of chapter 12.